Have you ever wondered what it takes to save a life in the wild? Buckle up for a heart-pounding tale of courage, love, and the unbreakable bond between a mother and her child. On a vast grassland, the wind rustled through every clump of wild grass. A herd of Mustang horses grazed leisurely, among them a foal named Lucky. Just 3 months old, playful and full of curiosity. The sun was high in the sky, casting a golden glow over the landscape, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of wildflowers. Lucky, with his chestnut coat gleaming in the sunlight, pranced around his mother, Rose, nipping playfully at her tail. His eyes, wide and full of wonder, darted from one fascinating sight to another. The world was a playground, and he was eager to explore every inch of it. That morning, Lucky became so engrossed in chasing a blue dragonfly that he didn't notice the treacherous mud pit ahead. The delicate insect flitted just out of reach, leading the young foal further and further from the safety of the herd. With each excited leap, Lucky drew closer to danger, oblivious to the soft ground beneath his hooves. Suddenly, with a heart-stopping plop, he fell into the deep, sticky mire as the cold, thick mud enveloped his small body, shocking him into a panic. Panicking. He thrashed about, but the more he struggled, the tighter the mud gripped his tiny legs. His whinny, weak and trembling, echoed as a desperate plea for help across the otherwise peaceful grassland. The herd, startled by the sudden cry, lifted their heads in alarm. But it was Rose who recognized the voice of her beloved foal. Her maternal instincts kicked into high gear, and without a moment's hesitation, she broke away from the group, her powerful legs carrying her swiftly towards the source of the distress call. His mother, Rose, heard the cry and galloped over, her heart pounding with fear. The sight that greeted her was every mother's nightmare. Lucky was sinking fast, his small head barely visible above the surface of the treacherous mud pit. Rose's eyes widened in horror as she realized the gravity of the situation. With determination burning in her eyes, she tried to pull him out with her teeth, gripping his mane and tugging with all her might. But the slippery earth thwarted her efforts, and Lucky only sank deeper. Tears welled in her eyes. Rose knew she couldn't save him alone. The realization hit her like a physical blow, but she refused to give up. Rose looked around frantically, searching for anything or anyone that could help. In the distance, she spotted a ranch, its wooden fences and red barn, a beacon of hope in this desperate situation. Without hesitation, she broke into a full gallop toward the nearest ranch, leaving behind a trail of dust and the echoes of her frantic neighs. The journey seemed endless, each second feeling like an eternity as Rose pushed herself to her limits. Her muscles burned with exertion, but the thought of her foal in danger drove her forward. As she approached the ranch, she could see figures moving about, humans who might be able to save her precious Lucky. Rose leaped over the wooden fence, neighing urgently. Her sudden appearance and distressed cries created a commotion in the peaceful ranch yard. Chickens scattered, and a dog began to bark, adding to the chaos. The noise caught the attention of the ranch owner, a young man named David, who had been repairing a tractor nearby. David looked up, startled by the unexpected visitor. He had never seen a wild horse approach the ranch so boldly before. Realizing Rose's desperation, he quickly assessed the situation. The horse's frantic behavior and the absence of a foal by her side told him all he needed to know. Without wasting a moment, he quickly grabbed a rope and ran after her, calling to his ranch hands for backup. Rose, seeing that she had successfully gained human attention, didn't wait. She turned and began to gallop back towards the mud pit, trusting that the humans would follow. David, rope in hand, sprinted after her, his boots kicking up dust as he ran. He marveled at the horse's intelligence and the strength of her maternal instinct. Rose led the way at full speed, never looking back, heading straight toward the mud pit. Her mane flew in the wind, and her powerful legs ate up the distance. David and his team struggled to keep up, but they never lost sight of the determined mother horse. As they neared the pit, David could hear the weak cries of the trapped foal. The sound spurred him on, and he pushed himself to run even faster. Rose slowed as they approached, turning to make sure the humans were still with her, before leading them right to the edge of the mud pit. When they arrived, the sight was heart-wrenching. Lucky was almost completely submerged, only his nostrils and eyes visible above the thick, dark mud. David immediately sprang into action, his training and experience taking over. He tied the rope around Lucky's body, working quickly but carefully to avoid causing the foal any further distress. Speaking in a calm, reassuring voice, he said, "Easy now, little one. I'm getting you out." His soothing tone seemed to have an effect on both Lucky and Rose, who stood nearby, watching anxiously. David's ranch hands formed a human chain, ready to assist in the rescue effort. With strength and skill, David pulled while clearing away the mud to make an escape path. The work was grueling and progress was slow. Every inch gained felt like a victory, but Lucky was still firmly in the grip of the mud. David's muscles strained with effort, sweat pouring down his face despite the cool morning air. After a few tense minutes that felt like hours, Lucky's body began to emerge from the mire. Inch by inch, with David and his team working in perfect coordination, the foal was lifted to safety. As Lucky's hooves finally touched solid ground, a collective sigh of relief swept through the group. Lucky stood on shaky legs, his body caked in mud but his eyes shining with relief. Rose, who had been watching the entire rescue with bated breath, couldn't contain herself any longer. She rushed forward, her maternal instincts overriding any fear of the humans nearby. Rose pressed her face to Lucky's, nuzzling him as if to make sure this wasn't just a dream. She nickered softly, a sound full of love and relief. Lucky leaned into his mother's embrace, drawing comfort and strength from her presence. The bond between them was palpable, a testament to the power of a mother's love. David smiled, watching the touching reunion. He approached slowly, not wanting to startle the wild horses. Gently, he began brushing off the mud from the foal's mane, his experienced hands moving with care and precision. Lucky, too exhausted and relieved to be wary, allowed the human's touch. As David worked, he spoke softly to the horses, his voice filled with admiration for their bravery and intelligence. "You're quite the team, you two," he murmured. "I've never seen anything like it." Rose's ears flicked towards him, and for a moment their eyes met. In that gaze, David saw gratitude and a wisdom that transcended species. With Lucky cleaned up and steady on his feet, David knew it was time to step back. These were wild horses, after all, and they belonged in the freedom of the grasslands. He gathered his rope and signaled to his team to begin heading back to the ranch. As they walked away, David turned for one last look. Rose and Lucky stood side by side, their figures silhouetted against the vast expanse of the grassland. It was an image that would stay with him for years to come, a reminder of the incredible bonds that exist in the natural world. Across the grassland, a joyful whinny carried on the wind-a-song of motherhood and the bond of kindness between humans and animals. It spoke of courage, of love, and of the unexpected alliances that can form in moments of need. As David and his team made their way back to the ranch, they knew they had been part of something truly special. The sun continued its journey across the sky, and life on the grassland returned to its normal rhythm. But for Rose and Lucky, and for the humans who had come to their aid, this day would forever stand as a testament to the power of compassion and the unbreakable spirit of motherhood.